Hi Starpowered friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alejandra Sofia and today's January 14th, 2019. I'm looking at the week ahead, an astrological view of the week ahead until January 20th, 2019. So I am in the driver's seat of my life. I'm in the driver's seat, and what better place to film my weekly YouTube video post but in the driver's seat. Of course, I'm parked. I'm in a parking lot and I'm not quite where I would love to be, right? I don't want mini malls spreading across the plains of my life to be my view. I want to take this somewhere else. I want to go somewhere else, but in the meantime, while I'm building my reality and finding my way through and tinkering on my inner structures, I got work to do on myself, and it's inner and it's outer work. So this week, the power of this week and the week ahead, the issue is being in your power and authority. So being the CEO of your life, being the driver of your life, being the decision maker, getting clear about the decisions, the daily decisions, the minute decisions that you're making day in and day out. So Capricorn is about consciousness. We've got several planets in Capricorn right now, and that our Saturn and Pluto conjunction that we're inside of for 13 months from December 22nd, 2018 until January 12th, 2020 is the primary, I'm saying the primary aspect of the year amongst other aspects of the year. But this aspect of Saturn and Pluto closing in together, where Saturn's is going to eventually meet Pluto in Capricorn at 23 degrees Capricorn on January 12th, 2020. The issue is aligning with your power and authority. And so that means a lot of endings. That means things that have to get wrapped up. And now here we are, January 5th, 2019, back 9 days ago. And we're at the beginning of the second quarter moon from the new moon Capricorn eclipse on January 5th. This week with Mars and Aries, we got Mars and Aries, we've got Venus and Aries, we've got Mercury and Capricorn. So Mars and Aries, inside of a second quarter moon, the essence of the second quarter moon, the key energy is rooting into embodiment, something landing and grounding in through the first moon cycle, the first quarter moon cycle from the new moon until half moon waxing, which was yesterday. That's what we were doing. There was a subtle essence of that, and then grounding something in, landing into something, and so what we landed into with the sun, with the new moon eclipsing in Capricorn, and then the moon arriving to meet the squaring off with the sun in Capricorn, moon in Aries squaring off with the sun in Capricorn at moon phase 8, which fundamentally means getting down into some issues, moon in Aries, of where you're not in power, where you're not centralizing your energy through yourself, because Aries is about accessing a sense of self immediately. There's an immediate, like, me, self, this is how I feel, this is how I think. With moon in Aries, there's a real possibility. I know I had a really powerful day getting clear with some feelings I was having, and there was just this no bullshit, no confusion once I started getting through some habitual places that I've been holding confusion in myself, blurred boundaries. That's been going on for decades. And with Mars and Aries, so Mars and Aries moon and Aries and Mars and Aries made a conjunction 2 days ago, and so that's been reverberating too through the moon phase 8. So landing into some self that allows to clear up some energy lines of confusion between self and other. So along with yesterday, we had our first Jupiter Sagittarius squaring off with Neptune and Pisces. This is like the dreamer dreaming the dream, living the dream aspect with Jupiter in Sag in its home, one of its home signs, and Neptune in its home, one of its home signs of Pisces. And they're squaring off because they're frustrated. They want to live their dream. And so we're getting this aspect 3 times this year, and that was the first of 3 Jupiter Sagittarius squaring off with Neptune and Pisces, while we're inside of a year-long Saturn and Pluto conjunction, power and authority, CEO. So if you want to become the CEO of your life, you're going to have to get into the driver's seat. And this week, it's about rooting to rise because of the second quarter moon phase that we're now. The second quarter moon phases are from moon phase 8 until moon phase 15. That's half moon waxing to full moon. We're ending this week on January 20th with a full moon. And it's at the 1st degree of Leo, and it's an eclipse. So this whole week is about rooting to rise, because the second quarter moon's about rooting to rise to meet expression. It's about standing up to your fears. And Mars is coming in to square off with all these Capricornian planets, because you got to get real with yourself of where you're continuing to blur your own boundaries in your relationship. So it's about getting real clear and using honesty and self-compassion because this in my previous video I talked about judgment, and one of the things I got clear about this last week after listening to my last YouTube post, I was like, oh, it's not about not judging ourselves. We need to judge ourselves. I mean, I absolutely believe in discernment, the analytical mind, using it well to analyze what we're doing, when we're applying that analysis, inside of ourselves and tuning into our emotional lines. And that's a challenging realm. It's unconscious. So this is a week of really getting conscious. The opportunity is to get more conscious of yourself by getting really real with where it's hard for you to stand up as yourself, in your truth, in your relationships. And so where you change, where you might back off, where you might come up, and then also just catching that excuse that comes in, or that challenge, because there's a conflict in there. And so that's what it's about. It's about really getting into like, oh, I've been doing this because I've been feeling like I owe that person this thing, whatever. It's unhooking from codependency lines, and you don't need the other person to be in agreement with the unhooking. That's where the self-empowerment comes in. You don't need to wait for somebody to come into their own power to disentangle. It's just about you and your own power. And then that's how you're going to get into, continue to get into the driver's seat of your life and really claim that place of power and authority that is natural to you. It's in our nature to be in power with ourselves. It's natural law. Capricorn is about the Capricornian life stream, which I will continue to use these words because I believe my intention also with my YouTube channel is to bring a new language to astrology and to life and to soul and to humans, finding our way through to bridge the deep inside with this world we're living out on the surface. And so in my own efforts to synchronize myself and excavate myself and bring and tap into the deep hidden treasures of me and really gain confidence in myself, and that means a lot of self-examination and self-analysis, and so then that brings me back, of course, to this week, with this opportunity and repeated theme of there's something to stand up to this week inside of yourself. If you're going to stand up to your life, if you're going to stand up to your vision, stand up to your dreams, stand up to your fears, stand up to where you have been blurring the lines, where it has been being in entanglement, right? And that's part of the North Node being in Cancer, and this whole journey and the polarity between Cancer and Capricorn. There's this the evolutionary polarization of Cancer and Capricorn is clearing up the boundaries where you're in connection emotionally to your environment, and you belong, and you're not disconnecting your heart and going into some withdrawal of love or withdrawal of energy and closing off of your heart. It's staying open, and so this is where it's finding that balance between being firm and friendly. It's this channel of, you can be firm, you can be fierce, and you can be friendly and open-hearted and understanding of a person's situation. And really it's about clearing up lines of clearing up the disempowerment triangle of rescuer, perpetuator, and victim. So if you're holding somebody in victim, feeling too sorry for themselves, that's how you're holding yourself in some way. And that's how you believe you've got to handle things. Or if you're holding deep guilt over something. And if that's what it's time to get deep into these places and let go and forgive. And so bring in new perspectives that can hold you. That's the thing. You need new thoughts. You need new thoughts to help out the situation, because that's part of how you're going to, sniff around the whole situation and get like, well, I need new perspectives. So you need to be open. You need to and that's where where I see this week with the moon in Gemini, through this second quarter moon, rooting to rise, rooting inside of yourself to meet expression and to express. And also that and inside of yourself as well. It's an external and internal reality of meeting that expression. There was something I was going to say and I don't remember. Maybe I'll catch up to it again. Lost that thread. There it goes. So in all that, it's about, it is about owning yourself and not condoning yourself, and in really engaging the compassion and the empathy and the self-empathy, and really being, becoming emotionally open to yourself as well, and while also clearing up the channels. So this is all going to help you as you're excavating in this Jupiter squaring Neptune year, Jupiter Sag squaring Neptune year, and in these days right now before this full moon. What this full moon has to do with the first degree of Leo, powerful. It's an eclipse too. It's about really, Leo is about the pure, nothing's in your way, access, entry into just feeling your love, feeling your heart, feeling your passion. I have got to cough, so I gotta get going.